What I'm going to currently show you in this video is about my filtration on my 5-gallon shell dollar tank. Well, with shell dollar tanks, or at least to me, I'm not sure how others do this, but I find that it's really hard to remove nutrients or do water changes per se, because a lot of the stuff in my tank builds up at the bottom that you want to remove, and if I decide to try and siphon it, you really end up sucking out baby fish, which is a pretty bad thing. So I just have implemented an algae scrubber to reduce the nutrients, and I'd say it works quite well for my tank. It has much lower nutrients than well, it keeps it in a good range before I come back for a water change. Usually I go 3 weeks without a water change, which is pretty good for a shell dollar tank. It's 10 gallons and it has 6 adult fish. I have 3 snails, which I feed algae pellets maybe every 3 days. So it does receive a lot of nutrients. And the algae scrubber helps keep it low when it's difficult to remove the waste. So I'll just show you my setup. It's pretty simple actually. But let's get to my algae scrubber. It's very simple. Just like how I set up my algae scrubber on my saltwater tank. Power supply for a phone. Attach it to an LED. This is a grow LED. This is growth after 3 weeks, but I think it's better if you harvest more frequently. And that's all that grew. And for a 10-gallon tank, that's a lot of nutrients being removed. But I'd consider my freshwater, my 10-gallon way overstocked with lots of shell dwellers. I field apple snails, and I even have them growing in the back here, and it's full of waste that needs to be removed. And I don't really get to maintain this tank often since I am away for school, but the algae scrubber helps with the control the nitrates, so that's all good. I also have a video on a simpler algae scrubber, and all it really requires, this one, is a phone charger and buying a light off Amazon. I'd say the main advantage I'll put a link, or actually there'd be a thingy right up there showing the video. Just click on it and you can see that one. It's not as effective as the algae scrubber that's built here, but it works. The main advantage of the algae scrubbers that I showed in the video that I put in the link up there and the one I made is that there's much less light spill than using a power bulb. Using a power bulb, it's gonna have a lot of light spill and it's gonna be pretty bright everywhere. But when you just make a little hole in which you fit the LED in, there's not much light spill, and that's good, especially if you have it in your room. Next, I'll just like to talk about my filter. If you've watched my older videos, as you know, it's the Aquatech 515. It's really great. I just cleaned the algae scrubber, but I also have a clip of what it looked like before I cleaned it. So let me unplug that before I blend this. So this is what it looks like. All it is a hole. But first thing I'm gonna point out, nice flow going by. Makes it circulate in my tank. It's extremely necessary since I really can't siphon the bottom. So it's really necessary to have a decent flow in your tank. You don't want too much though. With a 10-gallon tank, this Aquatech 515 I think is 100 gallons per hour, 125, which is just perfect. Next is the filter cartridges. What I did was I took out what it came with and put my own piece of filter floss. I just buy quilt batting from Walmart, and that's all you need to do. And place it when it gets dirty, stick it back in, easy peasy. And underneath the algae scrubber, I have a mesh bag filled with biomedia. And that's about it. Really simple filter setup and easy to clean as well. And it's nothing bad I could say about the filter. It's been working. Puts out nice flow and holds all that I need to hold in it. Just to give you an idea of the stocking, let's see if you could see the fish in here. I have a lot of fish in here. It's pretty hard to get a good idea, but there's a lot of fish in there. And they're growing up and they're always making more babies, so there is a lot of fish in here. Oh, and I recorded this a while ago, but now I have much more snails as well. You can see back here, they're in the breeder box. Those are the baby snails and they're growing up nicely. So I have baby fish, baby snails. I also bought 3 nitrate snails. And as you can see, they've done a wonderful job with the algae in the tank. It's not a replacement, but they've done a great job at it. So really impressed. I should probably remove this or clean this, but it's been doing its job so far. Still have like one plant here, but the plants aren't doing well. The plants aren't actually there because to reduce nitrates though, even though they do. I mainly had them because I want to put them in my bigger tank, so I'm getting them ready. However, it doesn't seem like that plant is going to go through anytime soon, so I'm just keeping them here. And just give you an idea of the amount of baby snails I have in there. There's some in each compartment. They all move around and all that. But it's really hard to get a good angle on them because it's behind the tank.